copy.
Star Time.
Thanks for tuning in. My name is Paul Pierce.
This is Star Time. Saturdays, all music, all day. Reggae Hour, K-Fox Night.
Looking for the perfect beat? Yeah, it's the beat of the Fox.
Fresh Juice, D-Money and
Myself, D-Money. Honey Size Patron.
Taylor Hart.
Resistencia, the Northwest Rap Game.
DJ Medina, Chad Cheddar, Northwest Rap Game.
Sergio Lacour's Love Line.
It's Sergio's Love Lines with Sergio LaCour. Going to the phone lines. Hello, who we talking?
Sea Monster Radio, Mo Jams, is your jam.
We're live. Welcome to Jam Mondays. This is KZ and KZ Music Media. Caller Goddess for Mo Jam Mondays.
Just my opinion. God is inspiration all day and all night. Saturday on Rainier Avenue Radio App. The Urban League of Metropolitan Seattle, empowering communities and changing lives. Urban League has been there to serve when our community is at its lowest. It's never mattered what the crisis was. The systemic oppression remains constant for those most vulnerable. Here at the Urban League of Metropolitan Seattle, we'll be temporarily adjusting our hours of operation and available services. If you are in need of resources, we recommend that you give us a call at 206-461-3792. Make an appointment at 0 walk-in hours 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. Hey, we'll gladly work with you via phone as best as we can. If you're exhibiting any signs of illness, we'll assist you with information to save your home, find you a place to sleep, or connect you to jobs. The Urban League of Metropolitan Seattle. It's 206-461-3792.
This is Paul Pierce, host of Star Time. And when I'm not stopping on Mercer Island street brawl, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio App.
Welcome to the Sentiment, a thought-provoking show with discussions that consist of life's experiences. We are bringing thoughts and perspectives out of captivity and isolation into spaces that promote awareness, healing, restores hope, and proclaims victory in everyday thinking and living. Come sip with me. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to The Sentiment. It's your girl, Latrice Chenee. I'm getting some glare on my glasses, so hopefully you all can't see that. But thank you for joining us this evening on The Sentiment. Today, I have an amazing guest that I am honored to sit with this evening and interview, and I am excited that he is able to come on the show today and talk to you a little bit about what it is that he does, how he got started, and the excitement that is building around the industry, and how he is creating generational wealth and opportunities for people and creating generational wealth and legacy for his family. So without further ado, let's introduce the amazing Mr. Employable, aka Tony Delgado. Welcome.
Thank you for the invite. How you doing?
I am well, thank you. How are you? What's going on, sir?
I'm doing wonderful. Enjoying life, doing some traveling here and there. Other than that, the family's good. Everyone's doing good.
Good stuff. So we have seen some movement. You have just, like your song on the flyer said, switched it up, and you have been doing some phenomenal stuff. Like, I can't wait to hear more about what it is that you're doing and how to get people involved and just more knowledgeable about what's surrounding your career and what you got going on. But man, first of all, let me just, stop and be like, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. It's exciting. It's exciting. So, Mr. Unemployable, tell us how you got that name.
Basically how I got the name was, I wanted to make sure that we change the narrative in this world when it comes to how we provide for our family. And I kept I worked a job for many years, had a great career, made great money, but I let them kind of control, how I feed my family, and I was like, well, I started to go into business for myself, and I realized I'm never going back to work for somebody else a day in my life ever again. So basically, I'm unemployable. Like no one can hire me, no one can afford me. I'm going to quit my own lane to provide for my family, where no one can control that. So that's where the name.
Right. You know what? That's good. Can't nobody control it. You can't afford me.
Right.
You
can't do it.
Don't worry about it. You can't afford me. Mr. Unemployable. We all need to be unemployable and create lanes for ourselves.
Right.
So the song that you chose to switch it up. He said, I went from working a job to becoming the boss.
Right.
Switch it up. Yeah. And I've never heard the song before. So I really love when my participants who are coming on the show give me something I've never heard before.
Yeah.
And it's okay. I like it. It actually gives me more insight into who you are as well. Or even not even maybe who you are, but the season you are in your life, and just it emanates. It always has great energy. And so That's awesome. That was awesome. Okay, you all, you're listening to Latrice Chenee on The Sentiment on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. And we have Mr. Tony Delgado, aka Mr. Unemployable, on the show. So thank you for tuning in. Before we jump in a little bit more, Tone, let us know, what are you sipping?
I'm just sipping some water, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep everything clear. We just got a couple of bottles of Arrowhead water.
Gross. Arrowhead. Gross. I don't know if I can say that on the radio. Can I say that?
Yeah, I think you're good. Probably not the best water, but that's what I had in my refrigerator, and I'm just
Listen, water is water.
Yeah.
For people like me, I don't want to say I'm rare, but I taste water differently. Like taste water and be like, oh my God. And somebody else would drink the water and be like, what is your problem? And I'm like, you don't taste the difference. So I just am not a fan. I'll say that. Yeah. Okay, it's not my first, but if I need water, I'll drink it, right?
I like the alkaline stuff.
Oh yeah. So I'm sipping today also water, but I have the strawberry cucumber sparkling water today.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, and that's been my thing lately, is sparkling water. So
nice.
Switch it up, right? Hey, switch it up. Tone, I have so many questions. I do want you to dive into what it is that you are doing to create this wealth for yourself and your family, however, and for others. I want to start by how you got into it, how you got started, and then tell us a little bit about what it is, and we'll kind of go from there.
Okay. Well, how I got started, I was actually introduced by a good friend of mine. Her name is Kina. And she was a client, she had a life insurance policy. And sometimes people, when you're doing business, word of mouth and referrals are the best way to go. And I was on the list of 5 people who knew that maybe needed what we had. And, I sat down with a lady, and she talking life insurance. And I said, shoot, before you get started, I need it. Because no one in my family was talking about life insurance. And I want to say 6-7 years before that, my older brother had passed away, and we had to do GoFundMe. We had to, raise some money. He left his 4-month-old son with nothing. Right. But he left me the bill. So I was like, shoot, if my little brother if I pass away, I don't want my little brother to have that burden. So I got a policy right away. And then she was like, you have a great personality. Have you ever thought about helping changing, families' lives with life insurance and investments? And I was like, I don't know if that's my lane.
Right.
But, I was like, if it's great money, why not give it a try? It wasn't my passion. So, but then we sat down, and she talked to me about, she wants to open up a few offices and looking for someone to help open up an office. And I was like, well, That's my own, is being
Right.
my own boss. And I was like, if you
Right.
can teach me to be my own boss, then no matter what it is, if it's helping somebody and changing other people's lives, then I'm all for it. So, and
Absolutely.
here we are. And now I became a favor, so we just opened up another office here in Kent about 2 weeks ago. So it's pretty.
All right. All right. Congratulations on that as well.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry for the losses as well. I know this has been a very challenging week for the members of your family and you as well. And so let's take the time to honor Kina. And she was such a beautiful soul and such a beautiful person. She'll be dearly, dearly missed. But she's present with our Heavenly Father. So she's in great company. So yes. So yeah, I'm just so excited about it. Okay, so tell us, without sharing the company name, because I know that's kind of like something we don't really do right now, right? So if you are interested in the company, you will have to reach out to Mr. Unemployable himself at Mr. Unemployable at SlimTone206 on Instagram is how you can find him, and then we can also post it on the broadcast so you all can see it as well, so you all know how to reach out to him. But try to give us, without saying what it is, well, not without saying the company, try to give us the meat, the foundation of the service that is provided and how people can access it.
Well, my office, we're a full financial services company. We handle everything from car to 401k to life insurance to investments. But my office, we specialize 90% with life insurance and 10% with investments, because our community needs money back in our pockets first. Life insurance is the quickest way to create wealth and the quickest way to pass on wealth. Right. And our community, we're dying right and left and leaving our money leaving our family with a bill instead of a will. Okay. So my main focus is making sure right off the bat that everyone has life insurance, but the most importantly, having the right type of life insurance, because there's a lot of companies that are out here taking advantage of us. For my company, with generic life insurance, we actually expose the life insurance industry with taking advantage of our families, because we don't read these policies. If you don't know the difference between a cash value policy and a term policy, you probably want to come see me.
Come on.
So it's very imperative that you know what you're getting, because when you pass away, you get one shot. You don't get two. If you can take money out of the policy, you don't want it. So being able to utilize that and turn around and teach our families how to create generational wealth.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And, would you like me to kind of break that down, or?
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is your stage.
Gotcha. Okay.
This is a week where we are honoring and celebrating just Black people. First of all, we always honor and celebrate us, but with Juneteenth approaching, the truth of our freedom in 1865, it's just the beauty of what else can we be free in? Free financially, right? Free from mental stress and imprisonment, and free from even the physical bondage of some of us being overweight, myself included, and approaching that level of unhealthiness. And how do we create wealth in every area of our life? How do we create that sense of freedom where we have peace of mind and we have joy and we can, bask in all these things? And so to me, generational wealth is huge, right? It's a part of all of that, and creating just wealth and just highlighting the people who are creating that for their communities in this upcoming week with Juneteenth approaching. So you have the stage. Go ahead. It's your story. You can tell it how you want. And let's go.
Okay. Well, we'll start off by saying, in our community, we can all think about it, is how many people you grew up with passed away with an inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot with our skin color.
Right.
Okay. When most people of other races, that's something that's standard in their community. And they wonder why they keep getting ahead and we not, because our community needs finances.
Mm.
Right. So I want you to think about it this way: is you can't afford it. Right. If you can afford Amazon coming to your house twice a month, you can afford it. Okay?
Twice a month, twice a week.
I was being nice.
It's,
right?
it's the truth. It's the truth anyhow.
Exactly. The Amazon drivers know where I live. Okay.
I've been guilty. I'm guilty. So.
Right. So, and we're talking $1 a day, $2 a day, $3 a day. Most of us are spending $20 a day eating out, you know. So it's really making things a priority, right? Because think about it. You put insurance on your cell phone, you put insurance on your car, you put insurance on your home, you put insurance on your health. So what you're telling me is if you don't have life insurance, that your life is less important than those other things.
Mm-hmm. And even more importantly, with what you're talking about, what happens after you're gone? If people depend on you is more important than that, right?
Right. We got to be, you know, we can't be selfish because everything we're building is for the people we leave behind, which could be our kids and our spouse.
Right.
What you bring to the table, you don't think they need that if you're here or not?
Right.
They need that, you know, so
loss of income.
Exactly. If you're making 50 grand a year, you got to leave your family with $500,000.
Right.
So they can live off of. Right.
Right. And tell people how you came to that. See, I'm a former producer in the insurance world, so I know how you came to that. Give the people a slight understanding of that number, because they're like, what? You just said 50 grand. What do you mean? So
how much you bring to the table every year, you need about 10 times your annual income. Now we're going to break it down a little further, right? If you make 50,000 a year and you pass away, your spouse can take 50,000 out of that 500,000. You live off of, but you take that other 450,000 and you put it into an investment that's giving you 10% rate of return.
That's right.
That's going to create $50,000 every year for your loved ones to live off of.
Mm-hmm.
Huge.
Right. Or more. It's
or
huge.
more. Your family can have that forever. You can send
Right.
your kids to school debt free. The house that you're paying, your family doesn't have to give that back if you pass away.
Right. How about you set your kids up for life debt free, not just through school?
Exactly.
For life debt free. Like, there is a beauty in being able to create something that you can add your kids to, so they don't have to have the same struggles as you did, right? Or have the same concerns about how they're going to pay for something that's a necessity. Like, the education at this point for my children is a necessity. It's not negotiable. So it's like, okay, where I may be like, well, Lord, scholarships, right? In the process of creating that wealth, so we don't have to have those concerns. What can you tell a family that's grappling with the monthly, but I can't, I'm having struggle finding making ends meet now. How do I find the extra to pay for a life insurance policy?
Well, like we said, we can start off with $1 a day, $2 a day, but just for numbers purposes, you got to think about how much you spend on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
How much can you sacrifice? But when it comes to, if I can't afford it, well, shoot. If your spouse leaves and you couldn't afford it, well, you cannot afford it afterwards.
Right.
You have to afford it. Okay. And think about, we all got Netflix, Disney Plus.
I don't even want to talk about how much I spend and all that.
We paying subscriptions. What is that going to do for your family?
Right.
My insurance is more important than my mortgage.
Right.
And the reason why I say that is because if something happens today, my wife is going to have to give that home back if she can't.
Right.
the roof over my head is gone.
Right.
Okay. Or she's going to have to hurry and find another husband. Right. And we don't want that problem. Right.
We don't want.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. So, but it happened. Right. So,
right.
You have to make it a priority to afford it, because we're all spending, no matter where we are, we're all spending money on things we don't need. You know, Amazon, people lost their jobs last year by the droves. But guess what? Amazon got better. We're not buying necessities from Amazon.
Right.
We're buying stuff we don't really need.
Let me think.
We do buy some, but
I was just being funny. I was just being funny, trying to think about it, like really think about it. Like, you may be right.
Right. So making that sacrifice, it is going to pay off in the long run, right? Because we don't know when we're going to leave, and we don't know where we're going to go. But I want you to think about the future. Do you mind if I read something for you that I kind of wrote up?
Please.
Okay.
Please.
So we're going to, I said most people won't read this. For those who love seeking information that they can benefit from, this is for you: generational wealth transfer through life insurance. Okay. Now you buy $500,000 of a level term life insurance policy. You pass away, your child receives $500,000, and then turn around and use $50,000 of it to purchase and completely pay for their own $1 million life insurance policy without ever having to use your own money.
Right.
Now you got $450,000 left. You can use that to buy a home. You can use that to start a business. You can use that to send your kids to school debt free.
Right.
Amazing, right? Then your child passes away. Your grandchild receives $1 million and turns around and uses $100,000 of that to purchase and completely pay for $2 million.
Oh, wow.
See where we're going? And you got $900,000 left.
Right.
Guess what? We already have the house. So now we got $900,000. We could buy another rental property plus another business.
Plenty of rental properties, depending on what region you're in.
Exactly. Right. Then your grandchild passes away. Your great grandchild receives $2 million, and turn around and you take $200,000 of that to buy $4 to $5 million in cash. Because what I'm gonna teach you is, don't think about life insurance. We're gonna buy some money.
Right.
Okay. Now, and the cycle continues generation after generations. What if your great grandparents had started this way of thinking and instilled it into your family today? We probably wouldn't have these conversations.
We wouldn't.
Also think about, I said there's no cure for racism, but imagine if every Black man and woman had a legacy plan like this. What would it do for our communities?
Right.
We got to get together and start changing our lives. Your grandparents, your parents, you as an adult need to buy policies for them.
Right.
Because one day they're going to leave.
Right.
Now you planted that seed. Now you can do whatever you want. You can leave that for your kids or your great grandkids.
Absolutely.
You know, so, but guess what? We still rather spend our money somewhere else. But that has to change, and it has to change now.
Right.
We got to stop thinking about it, and we got to just make it happen. It should be a staple.
Right.
It's the foundation to your wealth nest, right? When you're building homes, you start with the foundation. Now, we all have dreams and goals. We have investments, 401k. We have a savings account. We have kids' college fund, right? If you're not here, the money you're bringing in to take care of all that is gone.
Right.
So the foundation of life insurance. Now, what's cool is I'm going to teach you how you don't need life insurance forever.
Okay. Now do y'all hear this? Are you all hearing these gems? Are you hearing this wisdom? And if you have heard it, have you heard it like this? Well, thank you. I think it's either Shantae or Shantia. Miss Huddleston, thank you so much. I'm glad that you are enjoying it. It is a wealth of information. If you do not have insurance, seek out your local insurance producer, agent, or get with Mr. Unemployable, because listen, he don't just do this in the state of Washington, y'all. Matter of fact, why don't you let the people know how many states that you will be able to service them in?
I can service in all 50.
Come on now.
I'm licensed in 28 out of the 50 states. If you're not in a state that I'm not licensed, it probably takes me 24 hours to fix that.
Come on now, y'all. Y'all hear this? 24 hours to get licensing in the state that he may or may not already be licensed in. Come on now. Go ahead, Mr. Unemployable.
Yeah.
So another thing I wanted to highlight. I've been seeing the pictures of you and your family, the traveling, the opportunities that you have afforded for those two beautiful girls. And tell us, as the man, as the king of your home, providing this for your family, for you and Cassie, providing this opportunity for you and your family. Tell us what that feels like, what that shifted on the inside of you, with your perspective, with maybe your outlook on life. What is that level? What is there a value? I know there's no price tag for that, but like, explain that feeling for us. I just want to know. It's beautiful.
It's the greatest, really one of the greatest feelings in the world, especially, where I come from, where I was in the foster system for 7-8 years, where I was abandoned, by my parents, and it's just, I have a sad story. Yes. But what I did was, instead of dwelling on it, I knew I was destined for something great because I wanted more. Right. I knew there was more than what we had. Right. So I told myself that, you ever bless me with some kids and a family, I'm gonna do whatever I can to change their life and their outcome, and it change my life. Right. So being able to travel the world with them is something I wanted to do. And what I do here allows me to do it because I can operate anywhere in the world. And being able to put stamps on their passports. My kids, I'm gonna brag on them a little bit. They're amazing. They're intelligent, they're smart, they're leaders. So I'd start off really by speaking life into them. In the midst of that, teaching them values, to be great adults one day, but also showing them options.
Right.
And giving them options. Okay. Right. And being able to create a different culture, see a different culture, feel a different culture. Just my palate for food is different because of what I've seen and what I've done. And being able to see their faces, that they're in different places of the world, is everything for me, because I didn't do no traveling until I was 21, 22.
Right. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for honoring us to come and sit with us this evening and share. You have been listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Latrice Chenee on the sentiment, and today's guest was Tony Delgado, aka Mr. Unemployable. For those of you who did not tune in earlier, Kevin, his name came from, really quickly, he cannot be employed. You can't afford him. He's creating a path for himself, a lane for himself. His purpose is greater than just a title at a company, and he is his own boss. And so that's where the name came from. Again, thank you for coming on, Tony, and we will connect. We will talk. I'd love to have you on in the future, maybe with your beautiful wife, Cassie, and you all can talk a little bit more about your other business ventures and what you all are doing. Love to hear it. In the meantime, you all be blessed. Always lead with love. Show yourself kindness, show yourself grace, and hold that space for other people as well. You never know who needs you in the moment that you are present with them. Next on Rainier Avenue Radio World, you have Community Spotlight. So tune in. Until next time.
Thank you for listening to The Sentiment. Please join me next time with the next topic and the next guest that graces us with their presence. In the meantime, be blessed and be gracious and kind to yourself and others. Mwah. Mwah.